I'm bringing you the case of Marie Bly, who went missing in 2009 from Wisconsin, because there's a connection with Summer Wells' case, the little girl, the 5-year-old girl missing in Tennessee. Now, Marie Bly has been missing since 2009, and she is the aunt of missing Summer Wells.
Very hard to deal with. And my life will never be normal without knowing where my daughter is.
So let me go back and tell you what happened that led up to the disappearance of Marie Bly. Now, Marie Bly, she went missing from St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin in 2009. It would have been August 21st, 2009. She left her home and she was heading into Cushing, Wisconsin to meet up with her cousin and a few friends, and they were going to go to a bar and just to have a night together. But Rosemary never came home. Now, her car was found about 4 days later in Grantsburg over by a post office, and her car keys are missing. They weren't able to find that. They weren't able to find Rose. Now, right off the bat, the sheriff was thinking that possibly she might have been in the lake. I think it was called Memorial Lake. It was a walking distance from where the car was left. So he decided to have the lake drained. It must have probably been a smaller lake. And it was drained, and they looked and nothing was found. They did a search around the area and nothing was found. They could not figure out what happened to Rose. Now, there was a little video done by the police department a few years back to bring attention back to the case. And on it was Rose's mother, Candace Hauer. And she said, "I'm just at wit's end because I don't know what happened." And she said that she told TwinCities.com that, and she also went on to say that she doubts her daughter, who wanted to be a children's book author, would have left on her own. She was an amazing mother who never would leave her children.
There's a hole in your heart that can't be filled. And it's an impossible journey every day to wake up and wonder where she is.
Now, they did have some incidences of domestic abuse at the home, and the police were called there. Her husband, Christopher Larson, he accused her of slapping him, and she accused him of putting her in a headlock and slamming her head down. And this according to court records. Now, he filed for divorce in June of 2009, and then they reconciled and everything was going fine. And then he filed for divorce again in 2010. And during that time period, he got custody of the kids. Now, Christopher, he took a lie detector test, a polygraph, and he passed, and he's never been considered a suspect, although there are comments on their Facebook page that there are people that still consider him a suspect, even though he passed the polygraph. Now, I put a little post on there that came from the Facebook page, and they're stating this friend that was with Rose during that time. She stated that she told Chris at the time that she was going to her cousin's, and I was meeting her there for us all to go out. He showed up at my parents' house the next morning, and they called me, and he was on the phone asking me if I knew where his wife was, and I asked who it was that was talking to me, and he said, Chris Larson. And I said, who? And he said, Rose's husband. Have you seen my wife? I said, no. And he said, well, she never came home this morning and said she was going out with you and her cousin last night. All right, the investigators searched Rose's phone records, they drained the lake, as I said before, and they followed up on several reports, and they ended up with like 200 tips since 2009 on this case, but nothing has led to where Rose might be. They still don't know. Now, Rose is 5 feet tall. She weighed 110 pounds at the time. Light brown hair, brown eyes. She had a tattoo of cherries on her right ankle. Her ears and belly button are pierced, and she was seen wearing jeans, a green V-neck sweater over a white tank, and flip-flop sandals. Now, also her mother mentioned that Rose had been in a horse accident. She was riding the horse and got thrown off, and she hit her head, and she's wondering if that had something to do with Rose's disappearance, that maybe she got turned around, or maybe she had a small concussion and then it didn't, it caused her to get lost. It caused something to happen to her because it happened only a few days before she left to meet her friends up at the bar. It's a good theory, and it's very, very plausible that that could have had something to do with their disappearance. All right, that's it for now. Also, if you haven't seen the Summer Wells video, you might want to pop over there now and take a look at that. And remember that Rose is Summer's aunt. All right, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.